Hi everyone, it's Lisa Shaw from the Bigger Picture Photography, and I am here with the insightful and talented Tiffany Neuman, who's a brand expert, brand guide. You can find her at tiffanyneuman.com. She also has a wonderful Facebook group with a lot of cool motivational information for entrepreneurs, and that is called Level Up Your Legacy. So I highly recommend you checking it out and joining her group if possible. They're just wonderful information in there, and I always start my day with it to get a little kick and get me going and moving. So we are talking about personal brand photography. I just did a couple sessions with Tiffany, and we did 3 story sessions, which she can use for her social media posting for 3 months. It's 3 months worth. She gets 60 images. She can also use those for her website or brochures or anytime she needs a headshot or anything. But personal brand photography, the point is to have your viewers connect to you and gain that likability and trust by actually getting to know you as a human being and not just posting your products and services and a normal headshot. We actually want people to connect with you through social media and your websites and any other platform that you use. So I'm going to ask her a couple questions right now. She's my case study. All right, so number 1, tell me about yourself, your personal brand, and your business.
Okay, well, you mentioned that I am a brand guide and expert. So I basically help entrepreneurs that have been established in business for a little bit and find themselves with disjointed branding. So sometimes they've bootstrapped it, or they just kind of threw it together, and then they kind of start posting, and then they see their peers like putting up amazing things, and they're like, oh man, I kind of need to up-level my game. So I don't necessarily work with beginners, because I actually do believe that it is good to just kind of bootstrap at the beginning and not spend all of your money investing in a brand until you're ready and you know what you're doing.
Sure.
Although with photography, I think it's important pretty much from the beginning, just because, like you said, people get to know who you are. So that's basically what I do and who I am. And I spent 15 years in the corporate world as a creative director. So working with Fortune 500 companies and things like that. So that's kind of my background, and then I left to help entrepreneurs because I feel like there was something missing in that you know, they deserve the same great branding that the big companies get for the big bucks.
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah,
they do. We work really hard.
Definitely.
Okay, so how were you finding images for your business before now, and how did that process make you feel?
That's a good question. Well, I've not only tried to find images for my own business, but for my clients as well. So I'd use just like free stock photo sites and things like that. And you know, it works okay, but sometimes they're like kind of cheesy, they look posed, and it's not me. And to be honest, even though I did the branding for everybody else, I wasn't doing it for myself for a little while. Just because it is hard as an entrepreneur to kind of put yourself out there and be seen. But I realized that, like you said, it's so important, because that's how people get to know you and like you and trust you. And that's such a big part of, you know, a personal brand and a business.
Yep.
And so however it made me feel, I don't know, I guess it was just, what's the right word? Time consuming.
Sure.
Is one.
Yeah.
Just like clicking through, like, where's this good picture? And especially with what I do, like, I'm very careful about what I choose, because to have a coherent brand, you need images that stick within that framework. And that's one thing that I tell people, that the quickest way they can up-level their own brand is to have consistent and really good imagery that just makes them look that much more professional.
Sure.
So
great.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Why did you want to have professional images, and what kept you from doing it before?
So I wanted them, like I was saying, just to start putting myself out there. I was like, I kind of have to talk my walk. Is that how you say it? Yeah. Or walk my talk. That's what, other way around. Yeah, I mean, if I'm helping other people all the time with their brands, and then I need to project that for them to be able to model it. And one thing I found too, like you I think you said at the beginning is so many times it's just like a headshot or like them leaning up against the wall, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like having some real life situations, like the stories that you do, is so important because it gives them a glimpse, gives your audience a glimpse into like who you really are and what you're really offering, what you're about. And it's just different, you know? It's not just like, here I am.
Yeah. You definitely get your personality. We were just shooting her family making s'mores downstairs in their fireplace, and it was amazing and beautiful. But you definitely get all of their personalities when they're laughing and together and everything. So I fully see that as well. Okay, how did you find me? I
found you by Google. I guess that's how you find a lot of things these days. But I had, I know working with other entrepreneurs that, especially in like New York and LA and things like that, there's branding photographers. And so I wanted to work with a branding photographer specifically because, well, I've had friends do some photos of me and, there's people who specialize in weddings and different things like that. So I wanted somebody who really knew what I was looking for, what my vision was. And there was nothing that I could find, except then you popped up, which I was like, yay, I'm so excited. At first I was like, how is nobody doing this? So yeah, I just thought it was so cool that you were actually offering that as a service specifically because I feel like, a photographer has a good eye, whatever, they could get it, but you get like the story piece and you get... like I had some visions, but you were able to like actually make it cohesive and coherent.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. That's so nice. What made you to decide to hire me specifically, which you pretty much just said? Mm-hmm. What was the experience of working with me like?
It was fun, actually. I always get a little nervous going into shoots. You're like trying to get ready, and then today with my family, trying to get kids ready and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh. But you just have a really good way of like setting me at ease and coming up with other ideas. So I had like an overall vision, but then when it came time, I'm like, I felt like a robot. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I love that when people are like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, so very good with guidance and things like that. And then I think you just have an eye and understanding. So like where these pictures are going to be used. They're going to be used on websites, social media, and things like that. And like there needs to be that story and that thread like kind of woven through the story, which is really important.
Yeah.
And then too, like the first shoot we did was really great because, you directed it, and then I got him back, and I was just so excited because I was worried, my house, like, actually we were at my friend's house the first time, but I was worried about, the lighting and all of that, but it just turned out even better than I would have thought. So,
good. I'm so
especially
glad.
with the lighting and everything,
Good.
I was like, how is this going to work?
Good.
So.
And it's funny because I have things in my head that I don't know if you're going to do or anything. So I think I can include a couple ideas for people. Like downstairs, we were kind of in between doing things, and her little girl, she was kind of comforting her little girl, and it was an amazing shot. Mm-hmm. And it's going to capture the hearts of mompreneurs, right? There's so many women that are juggling families and their business. Absolutely. And I think by showing that on social media with a quick quote or some encouragement or motivation or something, they will love her, right? Right? So
yeah, no, that's so great because I think that's the thing is so many times they're all posed and you just capture like real life. Yeah. Like even when we were doing the s'mores, we kind of posed for a few, but really we were just making s'mores,
Yeah.
And so
that is my favorite. Documentary photography is my favorite, and actually that's what my background is in and my education. So I
can tell it shows, and I think that's what captures people's attention on social media too. Yeah, when it's less posed and it feels real
and sincere. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, where was I? Okay, how does having professional images make you feel?
More professional.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I feel like, again, I've been doing it for everybody else. I've directed other photo shoots with like the conceptual piece, but I was like, it's time to do my own, and yeah, it feels great to have that
good library to pull from.
Yes,
easily. Yep, good. How has it, well, we kind of just answered this one. How has having these images made it easier to grow your personal brand and or business?
Yeah, it's just easy because I have some to pull for, and I already have ideas. Like, it's going into winter right now, so like summertime, I do more photos. So it's like you can build this library over time, which is really nice. And as far as a personal brand goes, yeah, I think it just gives that cohesive look throughout. So again, if I was pulling different stock imagery and stuff, they'd have different looks and feels. So when people see me on social media and my website, then everything is coherent through what I call touch points. Okay. So wherever they're looking, it's going to have that same look. And then especially if you're doing this for entrepreneurs, at a timely basis, it's almost like documentary, it's like documenting their life over time and their business and their growth and all that, which is really cool. Yeah. And it has one consistent style.
Right. Good. Okay. What would things look like for you if you had not hired a photographer?
I probably would still be using stock imagery or just like putting some selfies up there once in a while, which I think selfies are still cute once in a while if you're doing something, there's nothing wrong with that, to have some, real untouched, not even untouched, but just spur the moment.
Hair in a mess, spur
like the moment.
Normal human being.
Right. Yeah. But overall, it's really good, and I do a lot of video as well, like Facebook Lives and things like that, so it's really nice to capture just those quick images, so then in between those lives I can have imagery that shows, again, my personality and different things like that.
Okay. So in the future, how would you expect your personal brand to grow because of these images?
I think, just like I was saying, the consistency is like so important from a branding perspective, and the social media is like a very filled, it's things are, you're scrolling past things on Photoshop, Facebook, and it's just busy, and so to capture people's attention and make them stop and get their attention and things like that, I think that helps me grow, and just, it seems professional. And I've had people, especially when I changed my Facebook cover photo and it was like beautiful, I've had so many comments and people, and then I've met people, had friends since, and they look at me like a true professional, like an expert, which I know in my heart that I am because of the experience I've had, but I wasn't necessarily portraying that.
Sure.
And I feel like that really makes it a big difference.
Awesome. And you even said that you have events coming up in the future and things like that where you're going to be speaking.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, that's a good point too. Yeah. So for speaking engagements, so like headshots for that. Also for like, as people become influencers, they need media kits and things like that. So those headshots are really important for media kits. Or if you're like going to be on somebody else's podcast or be interviewed. A lot of people want to do TEDx talks, all those things. Yeah. These images can be used for in different ways.
Awesome. So. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
Nothing specific other than I'm just so grateful I found you, because I was like, what am I going to do? I don't want to go all the way to New York to get pictures taken and have all those additional costs. And I know the fact that you travel, so that's really amazing, because I'm just blessed that you're local to me. Yeah. But if
but thank you for mentioning that. I do travel.
If there's people wherever that need it, or I've been thinking like it would be really cool if I had an events or like hosted something somewhere, you could travel to that. Yep. So yeah,
I'd even go on vacations with people to get cool shots. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes,
I really appreciate it. And
thank you.
Honestly, guys, please go to her website and check out that Facebook group. It is really helpful, and it's great for all of us entrepreneurs to realize that there's a whole community of us going through some similar things, and we need all the support that we can get. So please check her out. I love this lady, and thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.